I can. Can you? There we go.
There I go.
That's why.
Now I'm in the headphone space.
Now you're in the house. In my house. If we're being honest. Good. Wait, I gotta find the right one. Okay, there we go. Okay. One more time. Oh, that's good. That's good. Welcome, everybody. My name is Chibi.
My name is Rooster.
And this is the Puro Pinche podcast, a pop culture and politics opinions podcast with a South Texas twist.
We in here.
In this house.
In this heat.
Well, not in this house, because it is cool in this house. We got the fan going, which actually reminds me I need to put it down. We are Puro air conditioned.
Have to. It's necessary. Because it's Puro hot.
Puro summertime.
But always.
Distilled?
I guess.
Let's go, people.
Bienvenidos, willkommen, bonjour, konnichiwa,
bienvenue,
ni hao.
Hola.
Welcome to the Puro Pinche podcast. To any listeners, all the new listeners, we got more now.
We got more listeners.
We're in the 10,000s.
I don't know about all that, but I do have a story about listeners.
Oh,
so I went to the UPS store to drop off some Amazon returns because, shit wasn't happening. And shit needed to go back. And I was wearing this very loud pink Puro Pinche podcast shirt, which could be yours if you go to our website. But in any case, one of the people that worked there was like, hey, I listened to that.
Shout out to that guy.
And I was like, really? Thank you. He was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. And I was like, okay. So shout out to the employee at the UPS store on Babcock that listens to the Puro Pinche podcast.
And I hope he wasn't fucking with you. Like, I hope he was like, hey, man, yeah.
No, he was legit. He was legitimately thrilled because the little old lady that was helping you, she's not that old, but, she's
been there for a while.
Yeah. She was like, your shirt's funny. What is it? And we started talking about it and whatnot. And he was like, no, I listened to it. It was good.
Oh, right on.
And I was like, yay. So
we're out in these UPS streets, which means we federal.
That's right. And we got fans now. And we call our fans the Sluts, but word on the street is.
Well, you were the one who said that you were bristling against the sluts.
It's just, it feels very aggressive. But to use your coined phrase, abrasive.
Mm-hmm. I did not coin the term abrasive,
but you have a whole poem about it.
Yes.
So it just and I don't know. I don't know if everyone listening to this podcast is ready to reclaim their inner slut. And I'm all for empowerment.
Right.
But
So I got
choice.
the new.
Okay. You spill the new while I turn this fan down.
So we have this podcast. And everyone who listens, we greatly appreciate y'all. Y'all are fantastic people in your own rights. Y'all are kind of our buddies. So now let's just call them our Puddies.
Our Puddies.
Yeah, they're our Puddies.
The Puddies.
Yeah.
Wait, would them make them the Puddles?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Puggles.
Why would they be puggles?
I don't know. I think that's the word for what they call a baby platypus. Baby platypuses are puggles.
I had no idea.
Yep. I think it's either puggles or puddles. They would be puddles, and they are our putty.
DM us
Puddies?
or get in. Yeah, DM or get in our comments and let us know. Would you rather be a putty of the pod or a slut?
Or a slut.
A Puro Pinche slut.
All right, putties. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
All right, so we like to kick off the conversation with a segment we call Nope, You're Wrong, in which we voice an opinion, a thought, and talk about why everybody else is wrong. So this week, I actually brought one. Very last minute it came to me, and here's my thought. I think we've had the conversation on this pod before about like intellectual property and how there's like no new ideas these more and no new ideas these days and everything's just kind of getting recycled, right? I think there need to be more mini series based off of video games.
Give me a rundown.
So this all came about because I'm currently playing The Last of Us, which I hadn't played before. And there is the Last of Us, TV show. And as I'm playing the video game, I'm like fully immersed in the story, even though I kind of already know it because of the TV show. But like the storytelling is so good. The graphics are so good. The voice acting is so good. Like I have teared up during this one.
They say it's a great game.
It's a very good game. And so I was like thinking like, okay, we're at a lack of stories. And I also think the medium is underused. The what did I just call it? Limited series. Because we've seen what happens when they try to turn video games into movies. Example, Assassin's Creed.
One of the worst ranked movies ever.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And we've seen what happens when they try to turn them. Have we seen? Oh yeah, into series like The Witcher on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix.
It is.
Okay. Wherein now it just gets.
Here's The Witcher.
Stop talking to me like that. Now it just gets dragged on forever and ever and ever. But with a limited series, you could tell the whole story, start to finish, right? In 10 episodes, which feels just enough to really give it some juice.
Well, how much more of The Last of Us are they going to do?
I don't know.
So that can go on indefinitely like The Witcher.
It might, but hopefully it doesn't, right? Because there's only so much canon that they have to work with, right? And so
because that's definitely stopped the money making machine.
I mean, it has stopped them from producing good things, right? Let's talk about Game of Thrones and how once they ran out of canon and started making up their own shit, it kind of went south. And I think it also allows for the space to explore some of the nuances in the story. Because like, for example, in The Last of Us, the video game, there's a character, Bill, that we briefly see. In the show, they were able to give Bill an entire episode to like flesh out his backstory. They would get little breadcrumbs of in the video game. But I thought that
this is really just you saying you really like The Last of Us.
No, because I'm thinking of like Final Fantasy is another great example. Because
that's what I was going to ask. That's my follow-up question. Name me 5 video games that you think need to be limited series.
I don't play enough video games, but
Mario Kart, the series.
No, but these are video games. I'm talking about video games that have built-in story, start to finish, right? So like Final Fantasy VII, I think would make an amazing live action limited series. I'm trying to think of which of the other ones.
Would Assassin's Creed have been better as a series?
Some of them, right? So like I think, what was it called? Assassin's Creed Mirage felt like a nice, complete series. Some of them just tend to go on and don't really have like a beginning, middle, and end of sorts, right? But that one felt like a really complete one to tell. You could probably do Assassin's Creed Valhalla as another one. Everyone loves Vikings these days.
God of War.
I haven't played it, but maybe,
I love that. So there's a few things. One, I love that you're jumping out on this ledge and really only played like a handful of video games because you are notorious for like when you have a game, that's what you play.
That's what I play. Yeah. That's
so it's like WWE 2K.
Just dive right in.
Mario Kart. And Dead by Daylight.
And maybe, well, I don't know. Let me shut up, actually. I was going to say maybe Mortal Kombat would do better as a limited series instead of a movie.
So, okay, I'm not completely against your thing.
Okay.
But.
and but.
I was just thinking about this because I just saw a movie that sucked that was based off a video game called Until Dawn. Shit movie.
It was pretty bad.
Shite.
We saw it in theaters.
Yeah, it's on Netflix now. So if anyone wants to, comment and let us know how shit it is.
I think I gave it a 2 out of 5.
I'd say 1.5. it had some amazing gore and effects.
Yes.
I couldn't. But as I was sitting there thinking about it, I was like, this could really lend itself to a series where it's like more people are landing in this place that we need to like flesh out the mythology of, and get to know more.
Get some backstories, right? Flashbacks, things like that,
right?
Because most video games are, at minimum, if you're playing a video game that has a storyline, it's going to be like 70, 90 hours of playtime.
Yes, and well, so I am of the yes camp in this. Nope, you're wrong.
That's right.
Because half and half. Because the yes half is saying that why aren't we using video games like we use books more? Whereas like you have a lot more books. Like YA books that are then turned into series. Why don't we do that with video games?
Yep.
Especially if you're trying to appeal to younger audiences and more niche audiences, I think you can get away with that as opposed to film. But I do think that what you come up against is sort of the problem of too much too fast. Like I understand Final Fantasy just might be too much.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like a limited series, right? A 10 episode thing, and like you might even break it up into like 2 seasons, because there was recently something that got nominated for the Emmys in the limited series category, even though it's like on its 2nd season. Oh, Black Mirror got nominated for an Emmy. And I'm like, but we've had like 5 seasons of Black Mirror, but it's still considered a limited series.
Right.
So.
I think, because I was even thinking about Neil Gaiman's The Sandman series, which I love. Yeah. I think it's awesome.
I'm almost done with season 1.
I know why a lot of people would not like it, because it's a crazy hang.
I'm not saying it has to be for everyone. I'm just saying
absolutely.
It could potentially produce some really enjoyable quality TV.
No, but see, I think that's where I'm bristling against this idea. Is I am all for enjoyable quality TV. I don't know if we need to just scour video game IP now to do it. I think, and I could see Final Fantasy going the way of like The Witcher and Sandman, kind of in between that, because I know a lot of Witcher fans who really like the show.
Do they? All right. I haven't played the game.
I've seen some of the show. It's not for me.
Yeah,
I don't really like fantasy stuff too much.
Yeah.
But I could see, like, I actually was gonna say I think a Mortal Kombat series could work better as a television show, because then you could play with. Have you heard of like K-pop Demon Hunters?
No.
It's on Netflix. I'm excited about it. I haven't even seen it yet, but it's starting to get this traction, and it's just I think it's just a movie. It's an animated movie.
Okay.
But I think you could do something like that, where with like if you had these action, almost like Bollywood fight scenes, kung fu, and like the best thing about Game of Thrones isn't the story. I'm gonna say it. You know what the fuck it is? It was a series that we found like 9 or 10 actors from who were the shit.
Yeah.
You know, and then as they're like hacking people off, you're like, oh my God. And so, and iconic roles now. And I think that's where these series miss the mark, is sometimes they work too hard to fit the actor to look and sort of embody the character versus like, we didn't know what the fuck Robb Stark looks like.
Yeah.
But we got this dude who he took it and owned it. And then when the Red Wedding happened, we're there bawling our eyes out.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's where like Last of Us, the series, has done a good job, because
they were at the head of the Pedro Pascal-ixons.
Yes, they were. Well, maybe Mandalorian might have been at the head of that if we go far back.
But we don't really see him in that.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
But they, like they cast Pedro Pascal and what's their name? The
Shorty, I don't remember.
Shorty, who was
also
Lady
in Game of
Mormont,
Thrones, yeah.
Yes, and she specifically doesn't look like the character in the video game, right? Pedro Pascal, also the character in the video game, is not Hispanic. Let's put it that way. And I actually just found his brother Tommy's wife in the video game, not black, but played by the actress that played Tara in True Blood. That's literally all I really know her from. So I think they're able to take certain liberties and really find like the best actor for it, right?
Put Simu Liu, who I love, in a Mortal Kombat series.
Yes.
It's going to be the shit,
and
man.
Mortal Kombat as a series, again, you can give each character their kind of own episode that, flashes back to how they got to where they're at in the tournament.
So when the finish him happens,
exactly,
you're like, oh my God, they're not going to kill Johnny Cage.
And you have built-in fan bases already who would watch.
and people
probably hate.
Well, and people who watch freak shows. You know what I mean? Like some of this is just that. It's like, wait, because there's people who have no care for Mortal Kombat. And I think that's one of the things that Hollywood doesn't understand sometimes is that making a Mortal Kombat movie is making a freak show. Like we know the freak show, like, but so there's the fans of the thing. And then the people who are like, you remember that thing where they were ripping heads off in video games in the 90s? Like
slashing them in half and the two parts just
and then like the kung fu of it, and it was weird, and the ninjas, like that they're making that, and so there's the people who go see that. I don't really believe Mortal Kombat 2 that's coming out soon is going to do very well, even though they have the dude from The Boys who I fuck with.
We saw the trailer for it the other night, and I'm like, this looks exactly like how Mortal Kombat 1 remake looked.
Yeah,
you know, but it looking to have some maybe fantastic fight scenes and kills, but we'll see how much it goes in terms of plot. But I stand by it. I'm gonna say video games
I'm
as
50-50.
limited series.
I'm 50-50.
All right, give me yours.
Well, you put this on.
1 and 1.
No. You do yours. Okay. I want to jump in on this one.
All right. So I put this in because my husband sent me a video from Instagram, and let's just play the video first.
Okay.
And yes, go open the video, and here you can watch it.
I'm good. I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, it's on mute.
Here we have the newest species, the flea market cumbia en tacones version. As you can see, this vato has a typical Edgar haircut. También tiene la cumbia movidas, but also pinche huarachitos on fleek, carnal. Don't call them heels. No, they're not tacones. They're huaraches with lift, carnal. That's all it is, okay? Don't get it misconstrued. These Edgars will still shank you. These Edgars todavía venden mota. This Edgar will steal your chick, carnal. Do not get it twisted, because this vato has on the Tia 11s. Those are not clogs. Whatever you do, don't let this Edgar hear you call those clogs. Birkenstock has not fathomed the level of swag. This vato, mira, all eyes on me, carnal.
Yeah, man, he killing it.
Huaraches con lifts.
Huaraches con lifts.
This week,
all right, that's enough of that. Huaraches con lift. So I saw that. It was pretty funny. I laughed a little bit, but then it made me realize maybe we're judging Edgars too harshly, right? Here's this Edgar with those huaraches con lift.
Wait, you're making this. Oh, that's your claim that we're judging Edgars too harshly.
Maybe we should stop hating on the Edgars
because the one Edgar with the huaraches.
Well, because how much do we really know about Edgars?
I live in the West Side. I know a lot about Edgars, as a matter of fact.
I don't know. The only Edgars I've ever come in contact with are actually at the juvie when I was teaching a theater class.
Yeah,
there.
that tracks.
That tracks. But they were nice kids, you know.
No one's saying that they're not.
You know?
I mean,
maybe they're more accepting. Here's this Edgar wearing high heel huaraches.
So you know what's funny about the Edgar phenomenon?
Please tell me.
I believe that it started because of Odell Beckham Jr.
Okay.
Odell Beckham Jr. was a former New York Giants football player, and he had this kind of like interesting, like blonde, like haircut that was like poofy on top. And I just started to see it around the hood. And I was like, damn, and everyone was like, oh yeah, Odell Beckham. And then shortly after that, it kind of morphed into the Edgar haircut. And for those who don't understand, because you either don't have Mexican friends or have never heard about this before today,
Google
it's this very it looks almost like a helmet, like an old bike helmet from the 70s type haircut. Not a bowl cut per se.
Not a mushroom cut per se.
Right. But damn close. A lot of body in the
volume. And it can be short hair or long hair. I've seen some pretty scraggly, long-haired Edgars.
I was going to say, I feel like I have literally thought this, but I never said it out loud, and that's fucked up. Puddies, you get a first. I feel like I'm reinventing the Edgar for the older generation right now, but it's just because my hair, you can't tell now because I got the thing on, but I've been letting it like get wet and then just sort of like dangle and kind of like, it's half Edgar, half that one kid from Home Improvement who had the little, you know what I mean?
Half Spanish soccer player.
Yes.
Actually, that's the vibe you were giving
That's
me.
what
Spanish soccer player.
Spanish soccer player style. And so like reinventing it for the new generation or the older folks. The thing about Edgarism as a philosophy.
Is it a philosophy?
I think we have to talk about it philosophically.
Okay, I don't know this.
Okay, well, did you ever hear like the discourse about like the backlash against anti-Edgarism?
No.
Listen, to all my Chicana academics out there, I love you, okay? Y'all did it. Y'all broke stereotypes. You're breaking glass ceilings. I'm with you, por vida. But a lot of them were coming in defense of the Edgars, like, y'all don't understand. This is like goes back to ancient Maya haircuts and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, mira, I see it, but you go hang out with an Edgar for 20 minutes and you tell me if you want to keep, like hanging out there.
Is he really connected to his Mayan roots?
Or just connected to the same, it's a complicated thing. Because also, when those same Chicanas who like are out here defending the Edgar haircut and the cultural significance of it, guess who's the greatest purveyor of like dropping N-bombs in the Latino community? Usually the Edgars. I'm not gonna lie. And you gotta police them for that now. It's this complicated in that way. Like there is a cultural significance to the Edgar. I think the Edgar is a new sort of return to Cholo culture a little bit.
Okay. It's Gen Z Cholo.
It is Gen Z Cholo.
Okay.
And it's cool. I think I love Cholos. Y'all are my favorite people on earth. Edgars, not so much, but it's no disrespect. Please, I still live on the west side.
Don't come for
me. Like it's respect. It's us, but the thing about Edgarism is that it is really tied less and less to sort of like what Choloism was, or even like Pachucoism, where it was a cultural identity of clothing and
resistance,
style, and more importantly, resistance and politics and even cosmology with Aslan liberation and Chicano movimiento shit. And so I don't think everything I just said in Edgar wouldn't understand. And peace to you, God. You don't need it.
Maybe it is just early in the Edgar movement development, right? Because we weren't there in the early days of Choloism and Pachucoism. Maybe it just started as a haircut.
Well, because I think, yeah. I mean, no, there was definitely pushback. I mean, there's still pushback a little bit on Cholos. Like now they're seen sort of romantically, even in the Latino community. Yeah. Like I think the only people who still hate Cholos are like any hard working Mexicano who's like 65 and up. Yeah. And it was like, nah, fuck them.
Because now Cholos are viral, right? Like a Cholo explains, emotional breakup or something, right?
You have the Cholo workout guy. He goes out there.
That's right. On his little BC.
Lean like a Cholo.
Then I think what maybe started it, like, let it break through into the zeitgeist was, you remember those little doll action figure thingies?
The lowrider ones.
Yeah, I think they were just
the
called
homies.
Cholos.
No,
the homies. The homies.
right.
That's what it was. I think that was where it was like,
they were great. I had homies t-shirts.
Cholos are my homies. Much more palatable than Cholo.
Way much more palatable. Plus, I think the thing about Cholos that I love is that they also really do a good job of indoctrinating their youth into it, because it's like they do view Cholo as like a lifestyle. It is like the glasses and the bald head and the look and the khakis and the dickies, lowriders. It's a whole thing.
Sharpie eyebrows.
Like shout out to the Cholas.
Red bandanas.
Straight up. Actually, I had this is kind of off topic, but kind of on topic. I haven't talked to or like really kicked it with a Cholo or Chola in a long time. But I was at Puro Slam like 2 weeks ago, and I did this one poem that's like about like how we're destroying the ecosystems and environment. So I walk outside to go hang out and smoke a cigarette, and I just out of like the darkness, I hear this chick say like, "Are you environmentalist?" I was like, "What?" And I like look, I'm like, "Huh?" And it was a Chola, all painted on eyebrows and all that shit. And I'm like, "What's up?" And she's like, "Are you environmentalist?" I was like, am I an environmentalist? She was like, yeah, your name Rooster and you did that poem. You're an environmentalist. I was like, yes. Because I just wanted to keep the conversation going. And she was like, that's good because they really fucking up like the environment and all that shit out here. It's all fucked up. I'm like, you are right,
You're
Chola.
right. You're right.
I fucks with you.
Yeah.
So shout out to that environmentalist Chola.
And on that note, that's where I think like maybe, we need to take it easy on the hate on the Edgars. Maybe, something will come of them. Meh. Moving on.
My nope, you're wrong is I believe social media is going extinct.
Oh.
And we're at a tipping point.
Okay.
Social media is trying to become AI companies. I think they're trying to switch over. And that's why there is the giant push for AI in social media. That's why Grok was such a big deal. And why Grok now, or as he's known in these streets, Mecha Hitler, now works for the Department of Defense.
Among others, but yes.
Yes. Because we're losing the appreciation and sincerity of what was social media. Because I was even thinking like this. Picture this.
Okay.
Do you really need to see a selfie from anyone again?
No, never.
Yeah.
And it literally just happened to me the last night at the event where somebody followed me and I went to be like, all right, who was this person? And their entire feed is just selfies. And I'm like, I don't need to follow back, But I don't think that means that social media is on the brink of being extinct. Yeah. And I think we'll get more into this in the Mighty Big News, right? I think it's playing a different role than what it was, back when like Instagram started. It was like, oh, look at this bagel that I'm eating. It looks amazing. Let me post it so that all my friends can see my amazing bagel. And look at this sunset. Oh, so pretty. Got to treasure the moment. Take a picture of the sunset.
I remember 2010-ish range.
That's when Instagram came out.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
That's when social media was perfect. Facebook was perfect. Twitter was perfect. And Instagram was perfect. Right before Snapchat. Okay. Because that was still a time. And I was watching something the other day that kind of reminded me of this, where they were saying social media was good before it was like on every phone. Mm-hmm. And there were still times where you remember when you had to go to your computer to check social media. And so it became this thing of like
the early days of Facebook.
Yes. but the problem is that there was that disconnect in your day on where are my friends? Mm-hmm. DMs weren't really a thing. So we were still texting each other. So if I saw you went to Mon Chow Chow at the Pearl and snapped a photo of it, I would mean something to me.
Sure.
Because I'm like, oh shit, my friend is at Mon Chow Chow that I've heard is great and the food looks amazing. I should go there.
Yeah.
And then that would encourage me to comment like, how was it? How's it? Like, we don't do really any of that much anymore. Now the only time, and this is the sad fact and why I think it's going extinct, when I think people comment the most are like huge life events or fucking tragedies.
Yeah.
Or political infighting.
Sure.
Whereas before, like, I remember like Travis would just say something crazy underneath one of my posts just because he's a dick. And we love Travis. Always welcome on the pod.
Always welcome on the pod.
And now it's like, everything that used to be quaint and interesting about social media is just gone. Twitter used to be this sort of ongoing rolling conversation about everything that's happening.
Yeah.
From the smallest, most granular thing to the largest. And now it's just a war zone.
I mean, I would argue that everything that used to be quaint and interesting, period, is gone. But, I don't think that social media is going extinct. I think it's morphing in the way that it is being used and perceived. And I think that's where social media companies are morphing in the offerings that they are doing, right? I agree with that. I also think that you and I are maybe not the most tapped into social media as a whole, right? Because like you're basically only on Instagram,
That's my go-to.
I don't ever see you really on Facebook doing
I'm on
much.
Threads heavy,
Okay.
but I don't post as much.
My husband's gone viral on Threads a couple of times and he
Hey.
can't handle it.
Really?
He's like, they know I'm here.
That's funny.
Twitter, like you said, we've all jumped ship there, so fuck it. But you're not not on TikTok, and then I don't think you're on
refuse.
Snapchat either.
Nope.
Right. So that's another
I
one.
am on Blue Sky.
Okay. I too am on Blue Sky, and I have 2 friends,
Yeah.
and I'd like to keep it that way.
Yeah.
So shout out to Cesar and Nick. Always welcome on the pod. And so that's what I'm saying, that like there's a few others out there that you and I are not necessarily tapped into that I think still stand to say that like it's not going extinct. It's just changing. Technically, YouTube is also social media.
Sure.
So, and that is at
I think
its
YouTube-
highest point that it's ever been.
But YouTube, I think, is becoming. This is what I think is happening. Social media, when that phrase was coined, was a way of describing something that hadn't previously existed. This shared environment where people can communicate.
We are sharing our media amongst our society.
Yes.
And our social circles.
Right.
Yes.
And honestly, I mean, shit, you're old enough. And if there's anyone young enough who, I'm about to blow your mind. But you remember, like, there was a time before corporations were on social media. Like, it was a thing like, hey, Coca-Cola's on Facebook now. And like,
yeah. Wendy's Twitter is on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Celebrities getting on social media for the first time was a big deal.
Yep.
And I think I do agree with you in the sense that social media is changing, but I don't think that means that what I'm saying is less true. What I'm saying is the social part of it, that is the fellowship part of it, is going extinct, and now it's just new media because YouTube is just basically new television, and I fucking love it.
Yes, but there is still a social element in the way that you curate your social media, right? So I think we'll use Facebook for example. Facebook groups are lit as fuck. And that is all around like creating a community around a centralized theme, idea, topic, whatever. And you're communing with community members. I'll give the example of leather, right? I'm in a couple of leather making Facebook groups, and it's all about like, hey, look at this thing that I just made, or I'm having trouble with this. Does anyone have advice, right? Like, so like that's still creating a society and a fellowship of sorts within social media.
I to push it a little further in my nope, you're wrong. What I think is going to happen is those groups, those niche spaces
will soon be infiltrated by ads.
That's happening. Well, they're even saying they want to put ads in the DMs now.
I know.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Anywho, sorry.
So I'm just, no. That was a great point. I think that eventually we're just going to, I think a new social media is going to arise. Yeah. And I do applaud Blue Sky for what they're doing. I love that there's no ads.
Yeah.
But it's Blue Sky and no one's there.
Yeah,
I feel very lonely on Blue Sky.
That part too. Actually, on that subject, there is a company that has launched that has created an app that you can, and I don't remember the name of it, you can Google it, wherein you can text via Bluetooth instead of cell or Wi-Fi to create a more like private connection of sorts, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be like within Bluetooth distance. The way that it works is through networks, the same way they mentioned some other technology that currently works that way, where it just connects all the Bluetooths, right? And creates a network that way. But that's an example of how tools that we currently use, texting, DMs, are adapting to the new reality that we live in order to create something more functional in said reality. Because I think privacy be a big thing, cybersecurity be a huge factor these days, right? And same thing, like I think the idea of like if you think that we are losing the social aspect of social media, I'm sure you're not alone in this thought, and there may be other people that are trying to come up with a new way to cultivate that.
So I'm right.
That's right. No, I don't think you're right. but that doesn't mean that the
you're
thought
wrong.
isn't
You said
out there.
I'm right. Moving on.
Moving on. All right, we're now going to get into the segment that has now appropriately been renamed These Motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rooster, for that. Wherein we talk about the political bullshit that's currently killing us. So
Join us on this walk, Puddies.
15 minutes, maybe, because we're not going to dwell here. So, first of all, these motherfuckers in the Texas legislature are back in session, and they are blatantly proposing political gerrymandering. And I say blatantly because I saw it was a post by Move Texas, and love Move Texas for what they do and their cause. Always welcome on the pod.
Follow them if you don't. Follow them even if you don't live in Texas.
That's right, because they're sharing some really great information, and their whole thing is about rallying marginalized communities and young people to get out to vote. But they had a post that said Republicans are quietly trying to gerrymander this state, something like that. And I was like, no, they are openly doing it. They're not hiding the fact that they are currently creating political maps as a way to skew the electorate into their favor.
Mm-hmm.
And that is openly happening right now. Democrats have certain plans. There is a plan to just walk out so that
they can't have a quorum.
That's right. They can't have a quorum, so they can't actually vote on it. But Republicans' counter plan is like, well, actually, we're going to vote on it first, and then we're going to take care of all this flooding. So they are holding the lives of dead young girls as a political pawn so that they can redraw the maps. These motherfuckers.
These motherfuckers.
And that's kind of all I got on that.
Keep going.
Okay. You're like, I got nothing else to add to that.
No, you were very succinct.
Similarly, with them being back in section, one of the things on the agenda for the legislature is to re-tackle this idea of the hemp industry here in Texas. Because a number of years ago, they inadvertently created a loophole that allowed weed essentially to be legally sold in Texas. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick pushed hard for a bill that would make it illegal. That got vetoed by Governor Greg Abbott. Surprise, surprise to very few people, actually. And so we called them back in order to come up with something else, because the idea is not that Abbott wants it to be illegal, but rather heavily regulated so the capitalists in Texas can continue to thrive on this new industry. We can continue to, I'm going to say, tax dollars. I'm here for that, for our roads or whatever. But Dan Patrick ain't done. He has pushed a bill through the Senate, the Texas Senate, to criminalize it and make it illegal. Meanwhile, the House in the Texas legislature is drafting the one that'll regulate it. So, we'll see.
Girls, simmer down now. Y'all over there wilding in the Capitol.
I know. Specifically, the bill that Dan Patrick has pushed forward is one that would criminalize, or however you want to say it, edibles, vapes, I forgot what else. Gummies, those are edibles. All of the stiffs.
You got the air horn ready?
Yeah, sure.
Because this is a new segment of the show I'd like to officially put in.
Okay.
Called Dan Patrick's a Bitch. And to kick this segment off, I just want to say, Dan Patrick's a bitch. All right, cool. That's the end of that segment.
Back to our regularly scheduled program.
I had this theory that I floated, and it was funny because I was at Black Bear Diner, which is amazing.
It's so good.
So good.
The only one that I know of, or the one that I've gone to, is way the fuck on the south side, Military and 410.
Yeah, I've been in that one. There's one off 151.
That's the gay Black Diner.
Yeah. I can see that.
All the gays work at that Black Bear Diner.
Oh.
It's fantastic and fucking delicious.
Oh yeah, so good.
Yeah. Anyhow,
I was at Black Bear. I always, whenever I go with Dom, we say
always welcome on the pod, by the way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sponsor the pod.
Please.
We fucks with you heavy. we always sit at the counter because it's usually when it's packed, the counter is always open, so you can just get right in. And then even still, when it's empty, we're like, oh, we'll take the counter. They're like, you sure? There's booze. I'm like, no, we'll take the counter.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was there talking about this when they first put the THC ban, and I think it's still essentially true, which is, I think the goal is to get out the current like business owners, make their lives hell, make them sort of fall off and have to shut down, so that they can then legalize it or do whatever they need to, so that you can now have predominantly like corporate white owned businesses just sweep in and take over the infrastructure that's already in place.
Because capitalism.
Yeah.
I can totally see that. So
that's what I kind of think the long term is. But it's this funny thing, because I think that this might be one of the few issues that Abbott and Dan Patrick really don't see eye to eye on,
and are publicly fighting about it,
because those two used to be fucking bosom buddies,
attached at the dicks.
Yes,
and now they are dick fighting. They're using their dicks as swords.
One's like, no, we're going this way. No, we're going that way.
Yeah, and their dicks are snapping off. Yeah. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. What do y'all think, Puddies? Let us know in the comments.
Let us know. Is it Puddies or Potties?
Puddies.
Puddies.
Yeah.
Why Pud?
Because buddies and podcasts are our podcast buddies.
Puddies.
I feel like you literally did not listen to me when I was breaking it down.
I did, but
because you just jumped straight to Puggies.
I thought you said potties because buddies and pod.
No, potties sounds like the bathroom. Puddies sounds like podcast buddies.
All right, I'm here for it. What I'm not here for is the Corporation for Public Broadcasting is now officially shutting down by September due to the funding cuts.
Yeah.
There are a number of organizations that have ramped up their fundraising efforts, NPR, PBS to name a few. TPR. All of these local radio stations and TV stations, chances are they are not all going away, but the ones that are probably going away are the smallest ones in the most rural of areas that they just won't be able to keep open, and you will lose all your local coverage.
Commercial-free coverage.
Marfa.
Yeah.
Odessa.
Perrin. Yeah.
I don't know where else. I was going to say Kerrville, but that's too sensitive right now.
True.
But you too will lose your local coverage.
These motherfuckers. And lastly, you put this in there. Terrible job numbers released by the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. All numbers are trending downward. A huge reason for this is the displacement of jobs by AI and automation. And the massive firings in government.
And Trump decides to fire the commissioner of the Bureau, claiming that she's manipulating the data.
Yeah. Fired her today. This was breaking news on my way over here.
Damn.
Gave a whole long True Social post, and then was interviewed about it, and just swears that this person who was appointed by Biden basically just manipulates the numbers to make Biden look favorable at the end of his term and to help Kamala win the election, and now is sort of punishing him. This is really bad.
The ultimate gaslighter. Like
straight up. Well, here's what I kind of also want to talk about, and I almost wanted to make this the mighty big news.
Sorry, I jumped in.
No, you're good. Is it feeling inflation-y to you out there?
It's not yet, but it feels like it's creeping there.
Okay, I feel like I'm getting hit hard.
Okay.
Specifically at the grocery store.
Well, yes. But I think that has a lot to do with the current trade wars that are happening right now.
Right.
It is now August 1st. So unless something was announced yesterday, the 30% tariffs on Mexico are now in place.
No, those got pushed back to September, but we have a 35% tariff on Canada for some reason.
Oh, yes. Because they're so mean.
Because these motherfuckers. Yeah. But, and some are saying that it's in response to this is a brief aside, but connected, at the next UN summit, Canada, I believe Ireland, and a few other countries have come out publicly and said that they are going to vote to recognize Palestinian statehood.
Oh, yes.
And Trump posted a True Social about that, saying we're going to have to probably levy some tariffs on y'all then because that's
because
me
and BB,
because these motherfuckers,
me and BB are doing the BB.
Attached at the dicks.
Even UK was like, we might.
The UK, yeah, they were the other ones. Yeah.
Well, they were the ones that were like, we might do this if you don't, allow aid to go through. So
because those motherfuckers in Israel are starving. It's a genocide.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
And we all know it. So yeah.
But that's what I was gonna say. So this is why I think it's really, really bad, because up to this point, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics create data.
Yeah.
And across other sectors too, including NOAA, which he's gotten rid of, like we're seeing a lot of these effects of what happens when you shut down operations on data-driven departments. Things can get really fucking bad economically, which is where I believe we are. Like, I really do feel like we're at this crucial tipping point. The jobs numbers are looking worse. More people are getting fired. I just read about it's called the Axle company in Detroit. It was basically a automobile like parts manufacturer.
Okay.
Who shut down, and the owners specifically said, like, because of tariffs, I have to shut this business, close down my warehouse, and fire 100 people.
Yep.
And I just foresee really terrible things happening in the near future.
Yep.
And now we have someone who does not give a fuck about facts.
Yeah. Wants their own facts.
Yeah.
And also, to be clear, does not give a fuck about you.
That's true too.
Either.
But we care about you, Puddies.
We do.
Y'all are our Puddies.
You're always welcome on the pod.
Yeah.
So that's where we're headed. I think you're right. I do think, especially with the way that he's been clashing with the Fed recently.
Still.
And is now kind of sort of has at least two people on the Fed on his side. Quit. Oh, fun.
Yeah. It's getting bad.
And a lot of what the Fed decides is based off of the information that is being provided to you by the Bureau of Labor and Statistics.
They're literally not lowering interest rates because of Trump's manic tariffs.
Yeah.
They're saying we have to wait till we can see what the effects are. And then this motherfucker
is like, tariffs aren't going to affect anything.
He's like, they're here. They're not here. They're here. They're here. But it's a magic trick. And then
tax on, tax off.
And then
tax
so
on,
they're like, okay,
off.
well, we're not going to budge until we can see the effects of what this is doing.
Yeah. So.
And also bad economics. It came out recently that most major corporations, like the majority of them, are all essentially eating the tariff losses right now for the sake of
not raising consumer prices and causing mass inflation.
But again, I think it's reaching that tipping point where, like, Ford Motor Company, for instance, just can't.
Can they not? Or can they just afford to pay their CEOs a few million less?
So this was something I thought about the other day. I think one of the ways we need to start talking about taxation, we have to talk about economics completely differently. Because I think, and I don't want to go too far off on this, but I'm curious what you think. On one hand, the problem with taxes is that the middle class hate paying taxes. I get that. Everyone hates paying taxes. Lower income individuals usually don't pay as high taxes, if at all, because you have to have money to be taxed. And so the crunch really happens in the middle. But when we start talking about it as far as like tax the rich, it gets morphed into this like Kantian like property and like ownership situation. And it's like, but if you earn that much money, shouldn't you be able to have that much money? And it's like, yes, in theory. However, the problem isn't that these motherfuckers are making so much money. The problem is that when you have is that capitalism, its goal is cannibalistic. It's to always eat more than it deserves, more than
it's essentially progress at the expense of everything else.
Everything. And so with that in mind, like, the problem isn't that they earn more money than you and they, should be able to keep that. The problem is that none of that economically, it never makes sense for the money to be distributed down. it's never like your life should never get better under these rules and regulations. That's why we have to tax these motherfuckers. We don't want to tax them. We just wish you were getting more money, period, because profits are soaring and you're not getting any of it despite your tremendous amount of human capital.
Yeah.
And so I think even in the conversation of capitalist versus like socialism and all this, I think even that is this fucked up space that we're in, because anytime you attack capitalism, the right just calls you a leftist, Marxist, socialist, you know, everything. And that's really not the point. The point is capitalism is just cannibalism. And we're sort of just saying like, hey man, holistic economy, like period. You have to raise the minimum wage. You have to at this point. And raise the minimum wage, start paying teachers more, start paying maybe even government employees more, like anything that we can get people more money, I think absolutely has to be the goal of whenever we get into charge again. Yeah. If we ever get into charge.
So 2 things on that. One, I was actually thinking about this the other day in that it's like, I think when you start saying things like tax the rich, it's because they are taxed at a lower rate than, say, the middle class, which is taxed at a higher rate than the lower class. I was like, well, what if just instead of you pay 20%, you pay 30%, you pay 2%, what if everyone just paid the same 15% in taxes?
So the problem with the flat tax, because that is a thing. And I remember learning about that and I was like, that seems fair.
With, you know, like still carve outs for like, child credit and things like that, right? But because the tax rate being the same.
But that's the problem though, too, though. Well, so it's kind of twofold. On one hand, a flat tax is great, but if you tax a person who makes $20,000 a year, 15%, that's necessary and vital money. If you tax a person who earns over $300,000 a year, 15%, it's a lot of money. Yeah, but it's great. Yeah. And so how we determine that fair amount, it's complicated.
Sure. But my thought process behind it is, you know, like if we look at the way that like wealth is being distributed in this country, right? Like you were saying, the rich are getting richer and richer and richer while nothing is really helping the lower and middle class, right? So if they're the ones that are hoarding all this money, then if they're paying the same rate as everyone else, then a lot of that money gets put right back into, you know, our government, infrastructure, you know, social welfare programs, all of that, right?
Well, but this goes back to the second part, which is what you brought up, which is if you have child tax credits and such, then what you end up with is a problem in the middle, because, you know, if I don't have kids and someone else does, like, yeah, so why am I paying for your kids to go to school? Like, I don't even have children.
Because we care about each other as a society.
I understand you Marxist, liberal, leftist. But that's what exactly what I'm saying. And then, but to that point too, the problem is also that the rich still have lawyers and accountants who just throw it into loopholes. That's why, to me, the funniest thing is the death tax that Republicans always talk about, where it's really just an estate tax. And that's all it is. It's just, hey, man, it's for anyone who has ever confused about what an estate tax is or the death tax, it's you can't win the lottery and not have to pay taxes. So if you're born to a rich motherfucker like the Waltons and they die and bequeath you all this funds, you won the lotto, kid. You didn't choose to be born there. This is what happened, and it gets taxed. It's simple as that. And it's not a whole lot. But the point is rich motherfuckers hate that tax. They're like, no, that shouldn't be right at all.
Because of capitalist mentality of I worked my whole life to get this money. Why would I have to pay any of it back?
Right.
And which is bullshit.
And the point is, hey, my bad, you can't take it with you. Actually, matter of fact, take it with you. Get all your money. If you don't want it taxed, put it with you, build a pyramid. And then we'd at least have some fucking pyramids. Something to look at. But do something.
And then my second point that I was going to make, and then maybe we can move on from these motherfuckers, was we were talking about a third party last time on the pod, I think it was. And I can totally see where either we are going to have a labor movement that leads to a revolution or a third party, right? I can see some.
When you say a labor movement, what do you mean?
Like we're seeing a lot of labor being displaced because of automation, because of AI, because of firings, because of the economy,
Yes.
like the working class.
But are you
right?
are you saying the movement? I'm more about the movement, like
Yeah.
in terms of like. So are you saying that that's going to be a new political party, or are you saying
I think it will either be
because union busting is a thing?
Yeah, I think it'll either be a new political party or it'll be a very large swath of people who are just fed up with the way society is going and are ready to burn it down. I think the French Revolution.
I think we need a labor party in the United States.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you know, like
I think
we got Democrats, Republicans, but like who's really the middle class party? Because it's neither of them, if we're being honest.
It's not.
So third party, Labor Party.
But the problem too is the financial co-opting of everything because the second a labor
capitalism.
Well, more importantly is that like the line between a rich Democrat and a rich Republican is very thin.
Yes.
So when you have a Labor Party movement, all you're gonna have is a lot more excessive spending in the Democrats' side for them to be like, but we're the party of labor, and they're gonna do a lot behind that.
I don't know. Republicans are trying to paint themselves as the party of the people these days.
They're the populist party, yeah.
You know?
They're definitely the populist,
but they're leaving the people behind
because the people are stupid.
Well, I think a lot of them are catching on, and it's sad that it took the conspiracy theory to get them to finally like see like, oh, these motherfuckers are lying. But you know,
we didn't put that on the docket, did we?
No, but we've talked about it.
Sure.
So, and it's just continuing to evolve. I did put something in there about it,
okay.
But yeah.
On to the next thing.
Let's get out of here.
Those motherfuckers.
So actually, this is what I put in. In case you missed it, Trump is currently suing the Wall Street Journal, aka Rupert Murdoch, his Fox News best friend buddy, encouraging the Department of Justice to issue a deposition to have him come in over the whole printing of that birthday note that he allegedly wrote to Epstein. And similarly, Ghislaine Maxwell, this is not spelled Ghislaine, that's cheating at Scrabble, might be going home soon because they want her to talk.
You saw she already got moved today to a minimum security prison in Texas.
I didn't say that.
Yes.
I didn't see that. So yeah, they want her to talk.
She's talking to someone from the Department of Justice who just so happens to be Trump's lawyer, former lawyer. I could see a lot of people are predicting that the move is to have Ghislaine come out, get immunity so that she can name names, and she's going to name all the names except the one name.
Yep.
And then poof, here's a pardon, and then go about her merry whimsical way.
Basically. So we'll see how it goes.
And never get the full list.
So that's happening. And MAGA is losing their mind over it. Because they're like, this motherfucker. He promised us. Well, guess what?
In case you missed it.
Also, in case you missed it, you Galaxy phone users, you're now in bed with Elon Musk, is the way that I'm putting it. Tesla and Samsung just signed a $16.5 billion with the B, multi-year partnership for their new AI 6 chips. These are the chips that will operate things like full self-driving, robo-taxi services, humanoid robots called Optimus, and Tesla's data center Dojo. This is huge news for both Tesla and Samsung, the parent company of the Galaxy.
Tesla had to do something because they were losing.
And you know what? So did Samsung. So this these chips specifically are going to be made in their new fabrication plant in Tyler, Texas. And that fabrication plant was growing crickets and spiderwebs because they had no clients. They spent all this money to build it and nobody was buying, and they needed a fucking lifeline. So, you know.
And probably because I would assume that the Cybertruck is going to get phased out.
Let's fucking hope so.
Yeah, I think it's over. I think it's over for the Cybertruck.
I think it was over before it started.
I'm considering shitty fucking cars.
Yeah. So.
I do want to say this. We've kind of had this conversation, but I've again, just as more information comes out and the more I do research, I am completely on the other side of AI right now. Like I believe in my bones there is zero ethical ways of using AI.
I don't.
I know you don't, but I'm telling you, there's zero ways. Even in the education space, that's a huge conversation that we're having.
Yeah.
And without I can't talk too much about it, but what I can say is is that I feel as though there is this confusing push, deliberately confusing, where tech companies are trying to get as many contracts as possible on the books as they know how bad AI is to the environment, to critical thinking, to the truth and misinformation, and want it as far and wide as possible before everyone realizes it. And I think I'm just realizing it. Like, there's just environmentally alone, there's no ethical way.
Environmentally, yes, this is pretty bad on the environment because of the amount of water that it takes to cool these data centers and the amount of electricity that it takes to power these data centers. Yes.
And specifically communities of color, because in Memphis, I don't know if you heard about it, but they were like suing, I believe it was Elon, for one of his AI sites because, again, pollution. And who's it polluting? Poor black people.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I can't do it. This has to die. This is like Jurassic Park.
But it's not gonna.
This is like Jurassic. I don't agree with that. I really don't.
Okay.
I think it has to. The problem. See, this is where I think everything is a fucking problem. Is the cultural movements. Like, if MAGA fucking idiots can wear red hats to their goddamn funerals, we can say we're not using AI.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, and we have to just stop. Like, one of the big, especially in education conversations that we have is, well, what about like inner city youth, or what about like community colleges where they don't get exposed to this kind of information? Then they're going to be behind their peers when they get out into the eventual job markets. It's like, not if we all stop using it.
But that's what I'm saying. We're not all gonna stop.
We have to.
That's
like,
not
this is
gonna
bending to corporate overlords. You can't say, fuck death to the corporate overlords and be like, but the corporate overlords. No, you can't. It's over.
But what I'm saying is that globally, it's not going to stop.
Matter.
You know,
this is cultural, artistic, literal, potentially literal genocide of ourselves. I don't think I'm overstating this. I really don't. And that's what I'm saying is like, well, China's going to do it. Fuck them. Then everyone who's not doing it, let's agree to stop fucking with China. Let's stop their businesses. Let's put an embargo on them. Let's Cuba them. Because we can do that. If we collectively say, fuck the corporate or Grok. I covered this. Mecha Hitler.
Yeah.
Now works for the Department of Justice. This shit is fucked, man. And I'm saying, like, we can't just be like, well, but when you look at the fact that someone else is going to use it, it's like, we have to get our red whatever hats and say, fuck this shit. That's it. I'm off my soapbox.
I don't disagree with you. Where I disagree with you is that you're not going to get everyone to just stop until it's too late. This is how I feel. Until the planet becomes a desolate wasteland and everyone's like, oh, maybe we should have stopped.
We can't afford that.
Well,
I literally feel like we can't afford that. I can't. I hear what you're saying. But see, I think this is part of the corporate strategy of it, is I feel like all these tech bros and ChatGPT bros and Alan Altman or whatever his fucking name is, fuck him. Like, they love to do this. The genie's out of the box, y'all. So now we just got to figure it out. It's like, listen here, genie maker, shut the fuck up and put it in the goddamn box. And it's not to say that, like, AI hasn't existed for a long time, because then that's the other thing. It's like, well, you've been using AI for so long. And like this, it's like, yes, but that's like electricity, man. We use electricity in all kinds of things, but now we're saying, let's fucking shock the globe. Yeah. Like, those are different things. And so, like, yeah, is spell check horrible and gonna require a giant fucking processing center? No. But the second everybody's online creating, like, what would it look like if this dick was a part of a tomato in AR, and then you put like music to it, it's like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I swear to God, like, this is an existential crisis. Mm-hmm. This is Jurassic Park, and they made one fucking dinosaur.
Yep.
I think that's the problem. Everyone's like, it's everywhere now. It's like, not yet. They made one fucking dinosaur.
I disagree there.
No, I think
there's a number of dinosaurs, and they're in the wild.
No, I think the attraction that's what I think they're trying to get us to believe. But that's, again, it goes back to this contracting thing. I think all public universities need to just immediately say, fuck AI, fuck ChatGPT. I think students should not be allowed to use it. Fuck all that shit on like a very intrinsic level. Because the other thing is, this goes back to what you were talking about earlier with the economics of shit. This is why entry-level jobs are disappearing. They're fucking evaporating. Because if you're a kid who only graduated using AI and the career path you're on needs like higher education than what you attained, management skills that you never got because like you couldn't get that entry level position, it creates this perpetual cycle of what are we doing?
Yeah.
This also, and here's
dismantling of the society, essentially.
But here's also my last kind of conspiracy theory thingy. Well, because that wasn't conspiracy, but this is where I go conspiracy theory. We were talking about the Fed.
Yes.
And we were talking about PBS and the defunding of education and the Department of Education. I do have this kind of conspiratorial theory that ties directly to Project 2025. And it's this, the goal is to literally break the system or cause it to like jackknife.
Self-implode
for the purposes of restarting everything. I think the goal is a hard restart. And the reason is because like we talked about, these capitalists aren't idiots. They know late stage capitalism is here.
Yeah.
They know that it's gonna collapse. So as sort of a failsafe, it's like, let's fuck everything to where it gets to almost like depression level shit, where now people are reliant on their bread, food, water from Elon, from the Waltons, from Coca-Cola and Google and everything else. And now you have Emperor Palpatine at the front, and now we have zero rights. You can't speak. They're already taking away the First Amendment from people, people losing their jobs over speaking out against the genocide in Palestine. Like, I genuinely think that's the thing. And then with ChatGPT on top of that, they're fine. They don't need us anymore. Like, that was kind of like the whole union power imbalance rests on the fact like, hey, well, you need human capital to run your shit.
Yeah.
When you don't need that.
I don't even know if this is necessarily a conspiracy theory, because they essentially said, I forget if it was Elon or Trump, essentially said like, oh no, it's going to be rough at first. It's going to be rough, but on the other side, it's going to be better. Meaning like they knew that they were pushing us in the direction of a type of collapse as a way to then rebuild, promising that the future, those of us that get to the other side will have a brighter future.
It's like, can we make North Korea, but it not be North Korea?
Sure.
North Korea with a McDonald's.
Sure.
But we all work for McDonald's and we all work for ChatGPT. And I'm telling you, man, I don't think there's an ethical way forward where we can use AI. And so everyone needs to stop using it for your fucking captions, because they're not that witty or informative anyway.
There you go. On a much lighter note, the next one.
I was having a bad day about all this. I'll be honest. I almost didn't want to pod. I was like, bro, it's dark. But then we started talking about funny shit. And now I'm good.
And there we go. So in case you missed it, was it a bad marketing decision or overreaction? The American Eagle jeans commercial with Sydney Sweeney in her name. I've just saw that one. I don't know about Gatorade's Let Her Cook and the WNBA. But,
so the whole like let him cook, like you're doing it, keep going. So Gatorade got a sponsorship with the WNBA, and on these giant posters with WNBA players, it says "Let her cook." And obviously, people are like,
that feels like bad marketing, right? That feels like a really bad marketing. And then, for those of you that haven't seen the Sydney Sweeney commercial, it's basically a slow pan across her laid down body as she's putting on her jeans and buttoning them, and she's talking about how like, we all have genes that are passed down from our parents that determine in the most like blasé Sydney Sweeney voice ever, right? And that determine your hair color, your height, your eye color. My genes are blue. she says, referring to her blue jeans from American Eagle. But then there's been this huge outcry over the fact that it's like, oh, is she really, is this dog whistle for white supremacy? And how she is this blonde hair, blue eyed woman talking about how her jeans are blue and they're better than your jeans.
Let me explain something right now to every motherfucking putty listening.
We love you, by the way.
We do love you. But I got to say this. The brand is American Eagle. If they weren't already a eugenic-centric, nationalistic, jingoistic piece of shit brand to begin with, this shit shouldn't bother you.
Yeah.
Period.
If you shop at American Eagle, you're probably blonde, white, and blue-eyed.
Yeah.
or adjacent. Or wanting to be.
And I think the backlash is such a fucking waste of time. And I like,
and a waste of news coverage, right?
Right.
Because Fox News is having a field day with this as a way to be like, let's stop talking about the Epstein files. Let's talk about
what the people are mad about.
Yeah, the left-wing people have lost their shit,
Yeah.
So
that the right-wing people can be like, oh, well, look, the lefts are so fucking out of it. They don't even care about the Epstein, so why should I?
Yeah, it's crazy.
But we do care about it. Fucking release the flight logs. Trump's name was in there.
However, the whole Gatorade thing just seems like a real, like they were just missing. To be honest, they were probably just missing a woman in the room when they piloted that.
And idea. You know why they were missing a woman in the room, friends?
AI.
Exactly. Actually, yeah, to that point, I had a friend of mine who I can't say because of their job and stuff, but we literally had this conversation that they have a coworker who's like fried to the fucking max because they're working on this specific project. And in this project, typically for years and years and years, it's a project that requires like a team of people on. Mm-hmm. And they're like, nope, it's just you and use ChatGPT. And so it's like, that's why I think shit like that happens, because they're just like, okay, yeah, let her cook. I can see that. Yeah. Okay. Let her cook. That's a great idea. Run it.
And then
you need to have a team of people, man.
A diverse team of people being the key word.
Yeah.
Women in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And not lastly, but on a sad note, in case you missed it, we did lose some of the greats over the past couple of weeks. First of all, the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, has finally joined the Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, he did.
But if anyone lived a motherfucking life, that motherfucker lived a fucking life. But yes, unfortunately, I know in the end he had come out with his Parkinson's diagnosis, amongst other things, a surgery gone wrong that, basically left him crippled. But on a lighter note, his kind of final wish was to be able to play once again in his hometown with his band of Black Sabbath. And like 2 weeks before he died,
he did that shit. Fucking metal.
One last time playing for the fans. So shout out to Ozzy, my childhood hero.
Yeah, man.
Always. Flaco
Jimenez, man. You know Flaco?
I don't.
Wow. Okay, so
maybe I do.
The Texas Tornadoes, hey baby, ¿qué pasó?
No.
Jeez, this is like hot ones again. The homie Chris, if you're listening, come on, man.
I don't.
This can't be a Laredo thing. I might have to call the homie Chris right. Well, my phone's up. Anyway, San Antonio, specifically Freddie Fender and a few others. There was this band called the Texas Tornadoes. They were like kind of a conjunto country adjacent band, kind of like Emilio Navarra, Grupo Mas.
Nope.
Exactly. But Flaco specifically, he was an accordion player who he kind of became almost like a myth. Like he lived a long life, and there's like typically everybody in the West Side, South Side, somewhere in this city and in the cultural arts has like a Flaco Jimenez story, because he was super cool. He could shred on the accordion, and he just passed away yesterday.
Damn. Well, rest in power, Flaco Jimenez. You live on in San Antonio infamy. Also, Malcolm Jamal Warner
Because we didn't talk about that last time.
We didn't. No.
Yeah.
I think maybe it had just happened, or it happened like the day after, or something like that.
Rest in peace, Malcolm Jamal, famously Theo from the Cosby Show, and a poet and performer. And
yes, very humble from what I've heard. I never met him, but I know he was loved amongst the slam poetry community in the South, and was one of the peoples. You know, and always came back to the community in which he came up in. So shout out to that. And then
Hulk? Question mark?
Hogan. Hulk Hogan, rest in peace. Terry Bollea can eat shit and die.
There you go.
Is kind of the way that I see that one. I think it's going to go truthfully, I think it's going to go the way of, you know, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby of sorts, where it's like, you can kind of see what they did for the industry that they did it in, but at the end of the day, kind of a racist piece of shit.
Well, is Hulk Hogan on the Mount Rushmore?
Of wrestling?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wrestling would not be today what it is if it wasn't for what happened to and because of Hulk Hogan in the 80s.
And 90s, NWO.
Yeah.
He did it twice.
He did do it twice, you know, Hollywood Hogan. But in the end, he was a racist piece of shit.
Among other things, also a union buster. Did you hear that story?
I didn't.
Oh, really? That was kind of one of the first things that got on my radar. Jesse Ventura, the body, always welcome on the pod.
Mm-hmm.
He in the 80s was really pushing for.
Oh, I did hear about this. Yeah,
he was pushing for the wrestlers to unionize because they were like, bro, we're out here getting killed for nothing. There's no medical benefits.
There's no money. We're all tired and injured.
Yeah. And it's a monopoly at that. And so he was behind the scenes creating a union. He tells Hulk Hogan like, hey, you know, we need you, brother, you know, come on in and help us out. Your name would really elevate the cause and make some changes. And Hulk Hogan hit him with the like, I understand, brother. And then that bitch ass.
That was a pretty good Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, thank you. And then that bitch ass snuck off and told Vince McMahon, who immediately busted the union.
Yep. So racist, picket line crossing, piece of shit. Scab. However, Hulk, you know what I'll say?
It's like if Michael Jordan came out to be maybe not a horrible person.
Yeah, basically.
Like that's literally what it is. This motherfucker was.
I think what we can celebrate is Hulkamania.
Yeah, it brought people together.
You know, because I think that was a movement. True. Very fan-based movement.
I literally have black friends who, when the tapes came out, like damn near close to tears.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this is like if you found out the Ninja Turtles dropped the hard R. Like you want to talk about childhood ruin.
Yeah.
Like Hulkamania, you thought he was for all the girls and boys of all shapes, sizes, creeds. Nah, brother. Nah.
Not at all. He is a real American.
Apparently.
And then in case you missed it, South Park is back and taking no prisoners.
Did you see it?
I did.
Yeah.
It was pretty fucking funny.
They flamed that shit crazy.
Yeah. So. I've even read some of the interviews where they talk about like when they were in the meeting rooms with Paramount and they're like, okay, well, you're going to show Trump's dick, but you're going to censor it, right? No. Not at all. Mm-hmm. And Paramount renewed South Park for 50 episodes.
For $1.5 billion.
Yeah, so clearly they see the value of South Park.
It was great.
So here we go.
Shout out to Matt and Trey.
We'll see what happens in the coming season. All right, now on to the mighty big news for the week, in which I have decided, because this did kind of make its way through the zeitgeist and infiltrated everything, what we're going to talk about today is privacy and how everyone is always on trial in the court of public opinion in today's digital age. And this idea of talking about this came about because of the viral culture on steroids moment. Recently, a couple of weeks ago at a Coldplay concert in Massachusetts, the band's on-screen segment, nicknamed the Kiss Cam as part of Chris Martin's improvised Jumbotron song, highlighted a couple. And this couple, instead of romantically having a moment together, they both visibly recoiled, then turned away or ducked to hide from the camera, prompting Chris Martin to quip, either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. turns out, within just a few hours, armchair detectives did their sleuthing, and they found out that this couple, well, first of all, this video went viral, hit millions within hours. And then they found out that these two people were Andy Byron, who is the CEO of the tech firm Astronomer, and Kristen Cabot, who is the company's chief people officer, think the head of HR.
Yeah, she is.
Both who are married to someone else.
Yeah, they are.
Which then led to this massive speculation that they were having an affair by going to this Coldplay concert together. The consequence came swift and strong. Astronomer launched an internal investigation. First, Byron stepped down as the CEO, and soon thereafter, Cabot stepped down as the chief of people. And then the company,
was all yellow,
and then it was red. And then the company, in what I think is a brilliant PR move,
it was slick,
hired Gwyneth Paltrow to do a parody video about the whole thing, in which she acknowledges that Astronomer has been receiving a whole lot of questions recently, and she's here to answer them. And actually, what she's answering them is the use of Astronomer and what Astronomer does, which was pretty fucking funny. Obviously, it's lost to no one that Gwyneth Paltrow is Chris Martin's ex-wife.
Well, first thing, how does Astronomer have Gwyneth Paltrow money? Like, where do these companies come from?
I don't know.
It's so weird.
I don't know. But also, Gwyneth Paltrow, I don't know. She's been on some shit. Goop.
She's okay.
I don't know. So she may have just done it for the laughs.
Okay, that might be true.
Yeah,
she's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah, very much so. So all this led me to think about the idea of like viral culture and the court of public opinion, wherein like these two people, like we don't know that they were having an affair. This is all speculation.
Was it?
Yes,
that hug wasn't speculation.
Nothing has come out in that confirms this, but the optics look bad. And even in their like resignations, might have been just resignations because the board was like, the optics looks bad. Even if this isn't true, we need you to go, right? So by all accounts, these are two private citizens out in public. They get caught on camera, and now their private lives are public domain, essentially. So have we just accepted the fact that like being in public means that we might just be an extra in somebody else's viral moment?
Totally.
And we are all consumable at this point.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Point blank.
All right. That's the mighty big news. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Right. And what does that mean? Wherein like you could just be living your life and at any moment get caught on camera for the wrong reason. You might be having a bad day and you get caught on camera having some road rage or whatever the fuck, and your entire life gets destroyed.
Well, where do you stand? Because you're asking the question.
I am asking the question, and I think it feels very much like, because you can go viral for a very wrong reason, and I'm kind of thinking of that episode of Black Mirror where like someone's just having a really bad day, and
oh yeah,
because they're having a bad day on camera, their entire life is ruined for like one bad day. All right.
I mean, there's examples of this. It was the construction company owner at some point, height of MAGA, I don't know, wave. He was in his vehicle and I think he just threw up an okay sign or something like that. They thought he threw up a racist hand sign, and come to find out that he was like, yeah, no, like I didn't do that. And then whatever, like it came out like, yeah, he didn't. But they blew up his spot, they blew up his company, and I think he eventually went under. I mean, this is where I think we're at with the genie of the internet.
Yes.
And why, again, I think AI is terrible. Because the genie of the internet, if you want to play it like that, is like, yeah, these are the results of this shit, man. Like,
of social media specifically, right? Because even the internet, like before social media, you had to go search for something. There was the idea of going viral didn't really exist unless it was being circulated on TV.
It was on the news and on TV, yeah. Because we had guys. Actually, like another good example was like, and he went viral, but it kind of was still right before. But I don't know if you remember the guy who asked Obama a question. I want to say in 2008 or 12 And he had like a weird name, like Henry Butts or some shit like that. Anyway, you know, he became America's sweetheart for like a week. And then people did their sleuthing and were like, oh, this guy is kind of a creep. And again, life turned upside down.
But that's an example of someone that's kind of putting themselves in a public space of sorts, right? Inserting themselves into the conversation.
I believe this. We have to do something radical. That's it.
That's it.
No. No.
That's all. Scratch his cheek.
Yeah. But what, more specifically, I think we've been looking at the internet all wrong. The internet is real estate, and it's never been looked at that way, or to the public. Because I think tech bros understand that.
Yes, that's why you pay for your domain name.
Well, that's also why everything is Google. Google it. Like they've just dominated the space, and we don't understand why, because we still don't understand the internet.
Yeah,
and it's kind of that one joke. I forget the comedian who said it, but it was like, be honest, we don't know how things work. I'm talking into this microphone. I don't know how electricity goes to fuck into the computer that then you get to like this shit. But we do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing that's true with the internet is the majority of us, we don't fucking know. We're just on there.
Yeah.
And then Facebook was a way to meet our friends on there because we had AOL back in the day and that was cool, but not all our friends were on there. We didn't have a way to instantly communicate with people. So we had until text message. I think when was the last time you went to like a website that wasn't like CNN.com?
I mean, I go to websites all the time.
For what?
Look at products, reviews, information.
But like what? Like, are you saying like you go to Amazon or like Yelp or something like that?
No. Like
you go to their website.
To their websites.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's almost like a dying art.
Because back in the day, what was that phrase?
You had to go to websites.
The phrase was like, an idea is just an idea is a business without a website.
Yeah.
I think that was the tagline to something, right? But I get what you're saying in terms of like, we have
apps for
the internet is the wild, wild west,
right?
And social media.
And so because it's this space, there are no rules to what happens when we are on there. I think that we're fair to get on people when things come out for their behavior on the internet. But to your point, like now, when you're at a concert or when you're walking down the street and someone is putting a camera in your face, like you're actively brought into that space.
Yeah. And I think that is where where this isn't sitting right with me is the idea of like forcing someone's private life into the public sphere versus someone that puts themselves in the public sphere, right? Intentionally. And the idea that like, you could have your whole life ruined because of how 6 seconds of your life is perceived, right? It's just speculation, right? Well, here's how it looks. And so the court of public opinion has ruled you guilty without any fucking facts except for this 6 second, I don't know how long the video was, right? But this, blip, these few seconds of your life that have now permeated through the internet, and because they've permeated through the internet, now it's on the news, and now it's making coverage and all of this stuff, right?
Right. We need to moderate. I'm of two minds. We either need to moderate the space like it is a public square, or with like rules and decorum and such, or we need to get better at being in real life. And what I mean is, I'll say it like this. Like the other day, that one time when you're like, oh, there's people calling us gay on TikTok. And it's not to say that something couldn't come out on me or I could have a bad day and my life get turned upside down. But like, I don't know, like there's this part of me. I don't want to jump ahead and say that what I could or couldn't handle, but I feel secure enough in myself that like, I could handle most of the things that the internet tells me. Like because it's almost like,
you personally, but in this case, like
But he fucked up. Like, and I hear you, but like,
this isn't like him being like, oh, the internet hurt my feelings, right? And I don't necessarily want to defend them specifically,
but
right?
it cuts both ways. Like if we said something on this show that got viral, and then all of a sudden we can make money from it, like the Haktua girl, like it's the same,
but
other side of the same spectrum.
But the difference,
the good and the bad.
But the difference here is we are intentionally putting ourselves in the public sphere like that. We are broadcasting ourselves, for lack of a better term.
I thought we were just talking to our Puddies.
We are. Look, the guy at the UPS store.
Shout out to that guy, Puddy number 1.
Right. But we are intentionally broadcasting ourselves and our thoughts and our opinions. We do this weekly when we get on stage at an open mic, right? We are putting ourselves in front of the public for public consumption. These are two people, versus two people that just went to a concert and are like one of the thousands of people in that concert. They're not on stage.
Because I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, or if you don't know, that's fine. But like the video that went out, was that even Coldplay that shared that video?
I don't know.
Or was it just someone recording the kiss cam?
I imagine it was someone recording the kiss cam. I don't think Coldplay, the band, put it out there.
And again, like that's part of the problem is it's like
exactly
Coldplay. It's not Coldplay's fault if that is the case.
I mean, it might be Chris Martin's fault in that if he hadn't made that quip, maybe we wouldn't be so quick to assume that they were having an affair.
But hold on, you host shows too. That's the quip to make.
Yeah.
That's because everyone laughed because it was like, oh, they're acting funny. And then he left it at that.
But it didn't have to be that. Like, there's been plenty of kiss cam moments where people are like, "Oh no," and like, we're like, "Oh, they're brother and sister," or whatever, right?
But that's the point. He had her booed up.
Did he?
Yeah, oh, you didn't see it?
No, I haven't actually seen the clip.
Oh, play the clip. Stop everything now. I'll pull it up.
Pull it up.
No, pull that shit up. This was not. Yeah. Oh my God. Chibi.
It doesn't change my opinion on the situation of it all. Again, I'm not defending them specifically. I'm talking about the idea, kiss cam, Coldplay clip. Well, let's put it here so that we can hear it, I guess.
Wow, I'm so shocked that you hadn't seen it.
I've just heard about it everywhere.
Yeah, because...
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Well, it's the moment.
Does that change your mind? Who was that brought to us by so we don't get sued?
Right. That was brought to us by WLXT News 19.
News 19, we fuck with y'all. Always welcome on the pod.
Even though you might be losing your funding soon if you're a public station.
Yeah.
It does not change my mind on the situation of it. Like, again.
You saw how booed up they were.
Oh, they were definitely booed up, right?
Yeah.
So, again, I am not defending them, but I am kind of on the stance of like private people having their lives broadcasted for them against their will and then having real life consequences because of it. Like, that's a problem.
I feel like you're somewhat...
They were a bit obvious.
Right. And I feel like this is a fine line because now it almost seems like, I'm not saying you're doing this, but that you're like halfway arguing against cancel culture. Because that's all that is. That's what that was.
No, because I think cancel culture is usually done on people that are public figures.
But see, time out. I think astronomer. Stupid name. I said it. All wax, run that.
Yeah, it is.
But I think astronomer as a company handled this wrong. Because like, hey man, is it any company that says like, hey, you and your employees shouldn't be fucking or having affairs specifically, like that sometimes that gets written into their contracts, especially CEOs.
Yeah, and chief people officers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if there's something like that and you just get exposed, like my guy, you got exposed. Like,
sure.
That could have happened if he took her to Olive Garden. Like it just shook out the way it shook out.
Sure. But if you took your wife to Olive Garden and somebody filmed you saying something about the education system or whatever, and then put it online, and then it gets back to your job, like
you can't do that. Because that's a weird hypothetical.
But this is what I'm talking about.
That's not a weird hypothetical. They have kiss cams at shows. They have kiss cams at basketball games.
Yeah, they do.
You know, and people, and so like, I hear you, but that's a very, this is one thing I'm also, this might go into my like motivational message. Stop getting into the weird hypotheticals with people. Because it's a thing. I swear to God, it's a thing. Especially whenever I argue with like specifically right-wing people. They're like, well, hypothetically if, and then they just create the most nonsense scenario ever. Like, if a trans woman happened to have your kid with a gun to their head, like, come
my
on,
point
bro.
is that
Anyway,
I
yeah,
think
no one's doing
putting people's private life, making people's private lives public is an invasion of privacy.
But they were having a private moment in public.
Yes.
And so like, you can't stop that. Like it wasn't like they
and
were.
I think that's
it's not like he was cheating with his wife in the bathroom of the Coldplay concert and they ran up in there.
Yeah. But but that is the point, that like now anytime you go out in public, you're basically at risk of being broadcast by someone else.
And I'll take it a step further, because there is a part of this that I do completely agree with you on. And it's the Walmart influencer kids that I will beat the shit out of y'all if y'all come up to me.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
It's just this new trend. Or I don't want to say it's a new trend, but because it's kind of been around. But it's this like, it's usually, I mean, like teenagers, and they know they can get away with it because they're teenagers and you can't punch the shit out of a teenager. I will punch the shit out of a teenager. But like they'll go to Walmart, and so like just say you're out there getting necessary things, and like there's like one person who's like videotaping and you don't see it because they're over here, and like someone will throw something in the air that hits you on the head, and then they turn around and they're like, what the fuck? Like it got them and it's just like, huh? And like little shit like that, or they'll fuck with people, or like it's these little like pranks that aren't pranks. They're just like fucking with the natural civilized world.
And in that situation, you know, like what if you were the victim, not you specifically, right? But what if you were the victim of one of these pranks, and then you went after that kid and you grabbed him by the collar and started choking him?
I will beat the brakes off of him because I'm going to earn the charge that I got. And then you're not going to do that to me, and then I get charged for hitting a minor just because I grabbed you by your collar. I'm going to beat the brakes off your ass.
But maybe that's all that gets seen, and then that clip goes viral, and suddenly you're a child abuser.
I should.
Because you grabbed a kid by the collar.
Yeah, I should go to jail for that. But my point is like, I hear what you're saying, that the conversation should be elevated. But you were also the guy who's like, we can't stop the AI revolution.
We can't.
So like, I hear you, but it's like, yeah, it's all the same problem, Jibs.
Yes, we are still out here in a world that is consumed by the digital age, and anyone with a smartphone can now, you know, broadcast.
What if it was a licensing thing? Like, what if it was a licensing thing? You can't broadcast unless you're licensed, or like you can't broadcast, and more specifically, you can't be in spaces without like to broadcast like a concert without a license. Because I'll say straight up, I am so sick and tired of seeing everyone going to the Beyonce concert or the Bad Bunny concert or the fucking Shakira concert that was just here. Like, I don't need to know. I see everyone who was at the Luke Bryan concert. Like, I see y'all all are, some of y'all got shitty seats, some of y'all got great seats, but I'm over it. But that goes back to my thing, is I think we're kind of all over it.
Yeah.
But the problem is the money. But this is where it's tricky too, because there's people who get fucking famous and they don't get hardly anything, but they get all the attention.
I mean, the demure, mindful girl is a perfect example of like, you know, someone getting famous off of it. But again, she was intentionally putting herself out there, right? And great things happen to her because of it. Great.
But I don't know. I mean, I'll say, there's times I watch things on the internet and I have to judge myself because I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And I'll give you a prime example. If I had his handle, I would totally shout him out. But in Call of Duty, there's this mode It's like basically hide and seek.
Okay.
But what you do is the people who are the hiders, you take the form of like an inanimate object. So you're like a chair or like a deal.
Okay.
And you can like duplicate yourself so you can throw off the people with guns who are trying to kill you, right?
Okay.
And there's this one guy in particular whose videos I just watch because he's really good at fucking hiding. And sometimes it's hilarious because like it's like maybe 2 minutes of him like, and then like when they catch on like, oh, they found me, you just see this chair moving through the environment, jumping on things, trying to get away for its dear life, and it's hilarious. But after 20 minutes of that, I have to stop myself. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
There are these cumbia dancing chickens on TikTok that I you want to talk about guilty pleasures that I'd like. It's just somebody that put glasses on chickens and grabbed them and moved them to the beat of a song, and it's fucking hysterical, and it's brain rot.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I thought those, and then all the memes and reels that came. That's why, again, I'm so surprised you haven't seen the video. Puddies, please comment. Why does Chibi not see shit?
Because I strictly curate my social media
apparently
to only show me the things that I really want and not show me the things it wants me to see.
Apparently, because but all the reels that came after that were fucking money, man. Like they had all the what was it? Jon Snow and like Daenerys Targaryen getting caught. Like they had all these funky one, like it was great. And then there was like one, it was like it had a taco truck, and the caption was like, when they call out my order, but I've been telling everyone I'm on a diet. So it's like the dude holding the chicken is like, oh yeah, can the guy who ordered the number 4, the number 7, the number 15, the 3 tortas, the extra guac, the this, and it just keeps going. They're like, oh shit, and like hiding from the shit. And it was just great, just chef's kiss.
And our conversation comes full circle from social media is on the verge of extinction, and social media is completely infiltrated our lives.
I think it's
and sometimes the internet wins.
I think the connection between what we find entertaining is going to eventually find a lane. The capitalists in entertainment are going to find the ways to capitalize on it. And that'll just be it for a while until the next new thing.
And that's why I think we should make more limited series based off of video games.
That's what you say.
Alrighty then, putties. We typically close with a quick hit of dopamine, but my bitch ass decided that we're going to try a new segment called The Week in Movies. And this is because both Rooster and I love movies.
If you want your quick hit of dopamine back, though, leave us a comment, buddies.
Let us know if you prefer that over this segment. But we both love movies. Rooster watches a lot of movies. We've in this household, we now have the Regal Unlimited Pass, so we go to the movies a lot. And so I thought it would be interesting for us to talk about our takes on whatever movies we saw in the past 2 weeks, be they new movies in theaters or old movies on TV or original series from streaming things, whatever, right? Whatever the case may be, the Week in Movies. So,
oh yeah.
Did you watch any movies besides the one that we watched together?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I saw this movie called Bring Her Back.
Okay.
I am a horror head.
You also saw Until Dawn, apparently.
I did also see that. Yeah. I was actually going to talk about that in this segment, but we talked about it earlier. Not good.
Bring Her Back.
Bring Her Back. So there is this Australian, they were YouTubers who would make little micro horror films.
Okay.
Who got their first break, I want to say a year or two ago, with this other movie called Talk to Me, which is on Netflix and you should check out.
I think I've seen that one. Yes.
Saw the movie?
No, seen it on Netflix.
I really enjoyed Talk to Me. It was it was a new director's telling a story that I found really interesting. The horror elements were really good. You can tell that because they were first time film directors, like little issues like, this kind of feels like Hereditary. This kind of feels like this movie. But overall it was a really good movie that I enjoyed. So this was their second film. It was, I realized I might be outgrowing horror.
Oh no. Oh. What would the world be like without Rooster the Horror Head?
I know, but it's not because I don't love spooky shit and horror films. It's because I think it's the space that we're in where I think good horror movie, like I think Nope by Jordan Peele was a fantastic horror movie. I ride for that movie. I think it's brilliant. I think too many people.
I think it's publicly acclaimed as one of the best horror movies of all time.
Well, I know a lot of critics and other people who kind of like, oh, you mean the one where it was kind of, they didn't get it. And fair. Like, but they can't all be Nope.
Sure.
I also saw like some other, like I saw after Until Dawn. There was some other, what was it? Not Thanksgiving. Oh no, Hard Eyes. That was another.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
That one was good.
We saw that one in theaters.
Yeah,
that one was fun to watch.
Yeah, that was fun. And now I think there's this kind of push for horror films that are revolting. Intentionally. And that isn't my jam.
Evil Dead Rising?
See, that's the border for me.
Okay.
And like, yes.
Or are you talking about what's the one with the clown?
Terrifier.
Terrifier, yeah.
Like I've seen Terrifier and like I kind of ride for it. I kind of don't. I like, but see, here's the thing about Terrifier compared to these other types of films. Like there's movies like Martyrs and some other ones that I'm like, I know what it's about. I can't I just can't watch that movie. Because it's just they use revolting to sort of as a substitute for horror, and
that's gore.
It's because it used to be called like splatterfest films or torture porn. So like Hostel was gnarly,
yeah.
But the thing about Hostel was it kind of had this story. It like Hostel played with you in this way where it was like it wants to deliberately show you the bad thing. But in a way to where like, when you turn your head, because you know it's going to be brief and you can turn back and then the movie's going to keep pushing forward. Yeah. Now it's like, let's just extend the revoltingness to this crazy degree that I just can't do. And that's how I felt about that. Like it was a really interesting story and I'll recommend it to horror heads out there.
Which one are you talking about now? Because you've named a few.
Bring Her Back.
Bring Her Back. Okay.
I really thought it was this interesting film. I thought the story was a lot better than Talk to Me. But it got to some gnarly parts, especially with kids, like children. And I'm all for kids dying in horror films. I think that's an American taboo. But nah, fuck that. Because they seem like the easily murderable people in the film, and yet they always survive, which is nuts.
They don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah. But that movie was gnarly and pretty revolting at times.
All right.
Which I'm pretty sure they would be like, great, that was the point. I'm like, hey, mate, I still fuck with y'all and I really want to see them do great things.
Always welcome on the pod.
Yeah, they might. They do podcasts.
Well, come on in.
Yeah.
Talk. Oh.
There you go. Technical difficulties.
The camera went haywire.
You saw some films?
I saw a number of films. We actually did a double feature one of the days because, again, we can go to as many movies as we want these days. None of them gnarly at all. Some of them very anti-gnarly. So the first one we saw was The Materialists, which is that
heard about it.
Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal. Actually, what I'm calling this week is for me in terms of movies is it's Pedro Pascal's world, and we're all just living in it.
Pedro Pascal-a-sans.
Yeah. So Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal, and Dakota Johnson in the R-rated slow burn rom-com that wasn't very rom or com, if we're being honest.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. The comedy was nailed to none, and the romance was surface level at best. But basically the story is, she comes from a poor world, broke up with her soulmate, as is described, because he's poor and she's miserable. and gets introduced to this ultra wealthy billionaire who wants to marry her, and she dates him, and it's fine, and she likes it, and everything's fine. By the way, there's probably going to be spoilers in this section, so if you haven't seen these movies and you feel like watching it, sorry.
I might go back and tell you about mine then, because I was trying not to spoil it.
But essentially, she has to make maybe we won't spoil it. She has to make the choice between, do I go with the rich guy that I like but isn't the love of my life, or do I go with the poor guy?
You go with the rich guy
that I love and go live in his shitty apartment because he is a failed actor that works catering. So it was fine. It was fine. It was slow.
Chris Evans was the poor guy?
Chris Evans was the poor guy. Pedro Pascal was the rich guy. The next one we watched was Eddington.
I have been shout out to my homies who are like in my little movie circle. They have been recommending this one to me specifically, so hit me.
Very much so. This is Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal again, and Emma Stone in the Ari Aster film. This is the guy that made Hereditary, Midsommar, and Beau is Afraid, which is a 3-hour
nightmare
experience from what I've heard. I've only seen Hereditary. I want to go back and see the other ones.
You got to see Midsommar.
Yeah.
Beau is Afraid. Let me watch that first and I'll let you know. Okay. Because I heard it gets, I
heard the first cut of that movie was 4 hours and 15 minutes long. Yeah. And he was only able to trim it down to 3 hours. But this movie itself is a slow burn movie that hits such a left turn. It practically does a U-turn in that, like, the tension is growing. It's set. This isn't a spoiler. It is set in a small rural town called Eddington in New Mexico.
The sheriff, right?
Yeah. Right at the beginning of COVID, and the sheriff is like all done with these COVID precautions, and the mayor is everyone's favorite guy, and the sheriff decides to run for mayor. Because he's done with this guy and over it. And there's a bunch of history there, right? So the tension builds and builds and builds. And then the movie takes a hard left.
They start fucking.
And I thought that
You didn't say no.
They do not start fucking. That would have been Brokeback Mountain 2. But it takes a hard left. And I thought the hard left that it took was the hard left of the movie. No. But then it just kept going and taking more lefts and more lefts and more lefts. And I was like, holy shit, was not ready for where it went. And I think, I thought it was a fantastic movie. I think I think I gave it like a 4. A 4 out of 5 stars.
Cool. It's on my list.
Worth watching. Amazing acting by Joaquin Phoenix. Pedro Pascal is, doing Pedro, but and doing it well. Yeah. So yeah,
he's doing a lot.
He's doing a lot. Then saw F1.
I heard good things.
The one starring Brad Pitt, Javier Bardem, Carrie Condon, and Damson Idris with special guest appearance by Pedro Pascal. Just kidding. And is an Apple original that takes on the fast lane redemption story of most racing movies. And I have to preface this by saying I love racing movies. I don't know what it is about me.
I know what it is.
I have watched Ford v Ferrari multiple times.
Have you ever seen Rush?
No.
Oh my God. Then listen, go watch Rush.
I will go watch Rush because I know that was another one that's up there. I've seen Gran Turismo multiple times and I don't know what it is about them, but I fucking love them.
It's because the stakes are real.
And yes. And high.
It's a sports movie, but not a sports movie.
Because it's a people movie.
It's yes.
And it's always about all 3 of these have these redemption arc of like, guy that once was, but never made it, but comes back, or, the underdog that somehow breaks through.
You gotta watch Rush, man.
Okay, I will. I absolutely will.
Tell me when you do. I think it might actually be on Netflix right now. Yeah. But the thing that also helps racing movies is we all drive cars.
We all wish we could drive cars like that.
And it's so different.
And some of us think we can.
Yeah. And it's so different than, like, say, this is why I think there's a lot of people who like dance movies too.
Oh.
Because like, oh yeah, like, oh, if I just started shaking it a little harder, I can do that. I could jump. You're like, nah, bitch. Like that's crazy what they're doing. And I think the same thing is true with like racing movies. It's like, it's like you get behind the wheel, your foot gets a little heavier.
In another life, I might have been a race car driver.
Yeah.
But the movie itself, I thought the script was, there were some moments where I'm like, this is questionable scripting, right? Questionable dialogue. But cinematically,
gorgeous,
amazing,
fantastic.
I think it'll definitely get a nod for best cinematography come Oscars time. Brad Pitt does I think it's been a while.
He's at that point.
He is.
He's at that Robert Redford point.
Yeah.
Where like it's just he's Brad Pitt and everything, and you're just kind of like, oh, look at Brad.
But I think he's doing, a good job at it, right? Like
just
this,
like Robert Redford.
Yeah, this isn't, like 12 Monkeys Brad Pitt or anything like that, but it's
he's using his star power, and I think he's a good actor.
Yeah, very much so.
I mean, he's the reason why I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood works.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You didn't see that?
I feel like I did, but I was drunk at the time, so can't remember. But yeah, I think they did a good job. There were some close-ups of Brad Pitt where I was like, this motherfucker old.
He is motherfucking old.
He's 50 something right now, right? Something like that. So like
remake Jeremiah Johnson and put Brad Pitt in that motherfucker.
I don't know what that means, but okay. Then I did see, speaking of horror, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I heard it was bad.
Is the hard commit to the nostalgia lane. Basically followed the exact same plot, like go up on the side of a mountain, the car drives off the cliff, somebody dies, and suddenly a killer comes back in the same city as the original, with special guest Freddie Prinze Jr., Jennifer Love Hewitt, CGI Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Why was she CGI?
Because she died in the first movie. So she comes back
as like a ghost
in a dream or something like that. I forgot exactly what it was, right? But so it has to be young Sarah Michelle Gellar.
De-age her.
Yeah,
that's wild.
It was intense.
Always welcome on the pod.
And Pedro Pascal. Just kidding.
Right. He was the killer.
He was the killer. No, I won't spoil it.
You can spoil it. Actually, I think I've already spoiled it. It was like Freddie Prinze Jr.
It was Freddie Prinze Jr.
And like some chick.
Yeah, it was fine. It was a trip down nostalgia lane. I think I gave it like 2.5 stars. Great. It was fine. And then the one that we both saw, Fantastic Four, wherein Pedro Pascal leads the charge back to the future. I think it was an interesting way of like, the movie felt retro while being very futuristic. And is Marvel back? I think is the question, because it's been questionable in this year's releases. We both loved Thunderbolts.
Loved it.
But I don't think critically it was very well loved.
I think some critics liked it. I think the public really had no intention of giving it a chance because Florence Pugh isn't her yet.
I think she was fine in this role. She's,
I think she smoked
She's moody Scarlett Johansson, which works for the role.
This is fucked up, I guess, but I felt like she was ScarJo with depth.
Yes.
Because and let me be clear, I think Scarlett Johansson can act.
Yes.
I do think she's talented, but I feel as though, and I don't even know when this happened or what role gave her this sort of like iconography, where she's kind of been playing ScarJo, or like it's like her name and her face have this recognition, almost like a Julia Roberts. But I don't know, like she can't get too deep into these roles.
ScarJo specifically. I think she just hasn't gotten the right role to do it in.
Well, go see Florence Pugh in Midsommar because she fucking slaps.
I'm gonna go see Midsommar. Yeah. But Fantastic Four. What were some of the other ones that have come out this year? Was Spider-Man? That came out last year.
That was it. I think the one before this was
the other Marvel movie that came out recently. I don't remember. But in this case, actually, here's a thought. And this is, as someone who has never seen a Superman movie except for the Superman movie that just came out, it felt to me, because we also saw Superman a number of weeks ago, Superman felt like a Marvel movie and Fantastic Four felt like a Superman movie.
I see that. I've heard that.
Is that an accurate assessment? Again, I've never seen a Superman movie, but it kind of felt that way.
Yes, and I think
and but
I think did you ever see the Spider-Man original trilogy with Sam Raimi?
Wait, oh no.
The one with Tobey Maguire?
Oh, yes, with Tobey Maguire. Yes.
Sam Raimi was the director.
Hashtag my Spider-Man.
Yeah. That's what this movie reminded me of, specifically Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Where this movie decided to put us in a whole different world.
Mm-hmm.
You have to suspend your disbelief to just be on the streets in this world.
Yeah.
Because it's so retro futuristic.
It's very Meet the Jetsons if Meet the Jetsons took place in the 60s.
Yeah. And I think this movie is a little bit even deeper than critics who are bashing it are giving it credit, because they're not thinking about it like that, because they're so used to Marvel films and the way they come out. Like, they put the idea first. But like, for example, I didn't realize this until I was listening to this podcast about it, but there was so much hope and optimism in the film, which obviously,
hence the feeling of a Superman movie.
But did you also realize that this is the 1960s, right?
Uh-huh.
And there's racial harmony.
Yeah.
Because this world has heroes who are unifying that means like the civil rights movement worked.
Yeah.
You know, like all these things have changed.
Even the idea of them building these towers all over the world and the whole world getting behind this idea, like, we've all seen Don't Look Up. It would never happen in this world. Never on this earth, not. But on that earth.
Right.
Earth 81882
818, I think. Yeah.
Something like that. It absolutely happens. And I think that is where, because like everything from the world of Superman has always felt like the people are always united, and look at Superman, the shiny hero, and the streets are clean and all of that. And that was what Fantastic Four was giving me in terms of the world that they presented. I thought emotionally, it did feel a little emotionally shallow, and maybe that was just the acting, not necessarily the story itself.
I think it goes back to what you were saying. Like, it was like a Superman movie or a Saturday morning cartoon where I liked the movie a lot because I got to really turn my brain off and just say, fuck it.
Just enjoy.
Because once I kind of see we're in an alternate, like it was kind of like a Twilight Zone Marvel episode where everything is just gonna be different. And so even the emotional stakes, like when you have, I don't think this is a spoiler, but when it's like, well, Galactus wants their baby because it's a cosmic god level power. I'm like, there's a man who literally turns into a fucking flaming torch and can go nova heat waves. Yeah. There's a silver surf. Like, of course.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Like, let's roll.
Well, shout out to so I did not know it was that actress. I forget her name.
I love her. And I've never been able to not see her as a child because of Ozark. She's always just felt to me like a 16-year-old, 17-year-old. Julia Gardner. I didn't realize it was her until they showed her in that flashback on her planet. And it was like, it's been her the whole time? Smoked it.
Yeah, really good.
I have so much Julia Gardner stock. It's ridiculous.
So I think I gave it a 3.5. Is that what I said afterwards? Yeah. So I think it's a solid 3.5, 3.75.
And we got to see a real life Galactus. Which I think.
Not a CGI Galactus. This was an actor in a suit.
And he smoked it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where it kind of becomes this push and pull. It's like, for the comic book nerd, sometimes like there are these iconic characters like Venom, like Galactus.
Which were not good movies. The Venom ones.
Yeah, usually no.
They were not. I tried.
Thanos, like these characters are like, dude, like just to hear them mention, you're like, how are they even going to do that?
Yeah.
And to see it done, that in and of itself is a feat.
Yeah. And
I think they did it. And I'm like, dude, strap me in for more.
I thought this movie had just about everything you needed from like a I superhero movie.
I do think superhero fatigue is real these days. I'll be honest, I haven't seen the new Superman and I don't care to. I've never seen any of the Peacemaker movies. The last DC movie I think I saw was Shazam 2, which was horrible. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. I saw Black Adam, which was horrible.
You saw Batman, the Batman.
Which I thought was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've gotten it. And I feel as though superhero fatigue is real, but I do think that Marvel is. I'm half and half on this. It's similar to the AI conversation.
Is it because you weren't half and half on AI?
No, I know, but no, I'm taking your role in this conversation. Where now I feel like there is the over capitalization, corporate money bag grab of it.
Yes, the Disney of it all.
The Disney of it all. And then there's the like, hey man, kids had Harry Potter forever.
Sure.
And without question, to
not
me,
in my house. Not today.
Get back, devil. I think that this is, when we talk about IP, there might be nothing richer than what we have in comic books.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so like, yeah, I'm here for it.
I think the problem with Marvel is that it oversaturated the market to where, because of what happened in Endgame, where like if you had seen all of the other movies over the past 10 years, you kind of, it meant so much more, and you got all of the backstory, right? They've oversaturated the market to where in the past 5 years they've put out more than the previous 10 years. And people started to feel like it's too much for me to catch up. So therefore, I don't want to go watch Thunderbolts because I'm probably not going to get it because I haven't seen
Miss Marvel,
right? Or whatever.
Moon Knight.
Yeah, exactly. Which Moonlight was actually really fucking good, I think.
I think Miss Marvel was great.
I feel like I can't. In my head, I'm crossing it because I played one of the video games and Miss Marvel was like the main character in that video game. And I can't remember if I'm remembering the story from the video game or the story from the, because they mirror each other. Anywho, so yeah, I think that's the problem with Marvel.
I completely agree. I think after Endgame, they just decided to take the money and flood the market.
Yep.
So that,
and it's been to their detriment.
Well, and because they launched Disney Plus. Like immediately after Endgame. So where else would you put a lot of this content than this new streaming site?
But they did recently, I think they realized it because they recently announced that some show that either just came out or is coming out shortly is the last one that the TV series will tie into the movies in some way. So now if you don't watch any of the TV series, you're fine. You can just watch the movies and you'll be all caught up.
And I think it's going to be hard because there's still fans of some of those TV shows. Like, even though I like Iron Fist, a lot of people don't like that series, and I am one of them. Like, it was cool in The Defenders with, Jessica. I love Jessica Jones. I love Luke Cage and the original Daredevil. So like, I don't want them just sort of cut off.
No.
I loved Ms. Marvel. I loved She-Hulk. I thought that shit was fucking great. And so, yeah, like I would love to see, I think they need one last hurrah and then give it a rest. Take that money and run.
What I see them doing is there will be a cinematic universe for the television shows and a cinematic universe for the movies, right? So you'll still have the Punisher, Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones world.
Right.
It just will not be relevant to the movies. So if you didn't go watch that world, you're not going to feel lost if you're watching the movies.
I don't know if this is a hot take, and this might be something to clip for the socials. So Puddies, if you hear this, chime in.
Well, then pause, because this thing is reconnecting, and I don't know if it's watching you or not.
Well, fuck it. We ball.
All right. Fuck it. We ball. Go.
I think Kevin Feige needs to step down.
Oh, is that how you say his name?
Yeah. You've been calling him something else.
I've been calling him Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
Okay. He needs to step down.
Kevin Feige needs to step down. They need to give that role of creative to Ryan Coogler. He showed us with both Black Panther movies, with the new series that are coming out, plus Sinners, that he can build worlds.
Yeah.
And especially with X-Men coming down the pipe.
Yes. Don't fuck that up.
You need it in his hands.
Us millennials have been waiting for a really long time for these X-Men movies to continue.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you kind of let us down there at the end.
I mean, X-Men 97, though.
X-Men 97 is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
That's why. But the movies.
So that's what I'm saying. Get Ryan Coogler, just cut him the fattest check.
Okay.
And let him be in charge of all the X-Men properties everything
Look,
post doomsday.
Disney, you got the pockets to do this.
The bread.
Do what Facebook is doing in the world of AI to Ryan Coogler.
Sell Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse is public domain at this point.
And he's not bringing checks in anymore.
Exactly.
He's like Spider-Man.
Just give him an OnlyFans.
Let's do it.
All right.
That was the mighty, mighty big movies.
The weekend movies. So, Puddies, let us know. You know, like, did you like this segment more than one quick hit of dopamine?
Do you like being called Puddies, or do you want to still be Sluts?
Sluts. Drop a slide into the DMs, leave a comment, let us know. But now we like to go out with a motivational message before we get out of here. Rooster, what do you got for us?
My motivational message to the Puddies is hit the streets again.
Oh.
What I mean is, it's something I've been kind of doing creatively, because sometimes when I feel like I'm in a rut, going out can be the answer. Like, you don't always have to touch grass, okay? Sometimes it's go find a cool local restaurant. Sometimes it's go to a movie, like with friends. Sometimes it's go to a bar or a nightclub, shake your ass, but
watch yourself,
because sometimes this kind of goes full circle to the computer internet of it all. I think we have siloed ourselves a lot, and I know, especially because I'm just kind of halfway, or no, I guess close to finished my latest manuscript. And what I have to do is I have to be among people, because I have to remember what life feels like in order to sort of write about it, or just to make sure, like, have I written enough that I'm like, oh yeah, this sings to that pitch.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes because we get siloed off due to technology, due to life, due to work, it's hard to get out there and step out into community, especially if you feel disconnected, like I don't know anyone. But it's like, just go, just be out, you know,
put yourself out there. Go to the local bar,
go to a library.
Ooh,
there's
a novel concept.
Bookstores.
Good.
Like, y'all go do some glad I went stuff, because the economy is tanking and you need to get it in now.
Before they all close down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was kind of motivational.
Kind of fell off at the end.
Yeah, but it's fine. Stuck the landing. My motivational message is brought to you by the Knight of Pentacles. And in that, like, we may have talked a lot of doom and gloom on this episode, and often we talk some doom and gloom, and it feels like the good is few and far between these days. But the motivational message here is to just keep your head down and keep going, right? Even though you feel like you might be a bit stagnant, you feel like you might be hitting some roadblocks, not, you know, like feeling a bit lethargic these days because the world is on fire, right? If you keep that kind of like determination, right? The Knight of Pentacles has chosen a road and is going to keep going down that road regardless of what gets put in his way. And I encourage y'all to just fucking do the thing and keep going at it, because one day, like us, you might have 42 listeners, and we will celebrate each and every one of you putties till the end of time.
Damn right.
We started this over 3 years ago. Damn. And now look at us. 42.
We're almost to 50. Well, that does it for us. Thank you, Puddies or Sluts, whichever you prefer.
No, you decide. Whatever fits best. Maybe it's both.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Please.
Have fun at the UPS store if you're working there.
Shout out to the guy at the UPS store. He definitely liked and subscribed because he's listening. Have you subscribed yet? Do you share the episodes? Let your people know, because we want to hit 50 listeners. God damn it. But it's been a pleasure. I know this one went kind of long, so thanks for sticking around, Puddles. Rooster,
until next time.
If people want to find you, where can they find you?
On these streets at Gen and everywhere. I'm out here.
That's right.
Where can they find you?
They can find me on the gram, Gemini's, GEMINEYES, or Gemini's Productions. Hit up the website, okay? PuroPinchePod.com/pod. We got merch. I want to see more people rocking Puro Pinche shirts. There's one in every color, y'all. I just got this pink one in the mail like 2 days ago. When are you getting your Puro Pinche shirt? Rooster?
I do need one.
You just have a hoodie.
Yeah, it gets a lot of compliments though.
It's a bomb-ass hoodie. You can have one too. But yeah, until next time, people, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Bye.